Welcome, fight fans, to Berlin, Germany, the largest and capital city of this beautiful country. There's the Berlin TV Tower, not so far away from where we will be hosting weigh-ins tonight on DAZN and, of course, PFL Europe Mixed Martial Arts tomorrow. Right there, Verti Music Hall, a jewel of culture in this culture-soaked city. Tomorrow night, it's all about the lightweights and the bantamweights as they push to the playoffs in Paris and perhaps a championship opportunity in Dublin. Francesco Nuzzi and Farad Iran Nazad in our main event. Benkasi versus Kokarov in the co-main, and a great card leading into those two fights. Sean O'Connell here for the weigh-ins with the iconic skyscraper, Mr. Stefan Struve, and of course, the outlaw himself, Dan Hardy, who is not just our broadcast partner, but also the director of fighter operations for PFL Europe. So we're going to make Dan wear a couple of different hats tonight. It's all about the weigh-ins. Dan, we have an incredible card. We're going to talk about all these fighters, but I want to know what your strategy was on weigh-in night. I know you got a little crazy.
Yeah, you know, I used to, nothing like what you did, Sean, though. I mean, they were iconic, but I'd like to get in people's faces at the weigh-ins. I'd like to see if I can push them around and bully them and see if I can find any psychological weak spots where, I mean, you know, when you're fighting someone like GSP, it's hard to intimidate a guy that he knows he's going to beat your ass. And Carlos Condit, like you can see I'm trying to get in his face there. That one backfired as well. I got knocked out in that one. Look at Stefan Struve, though, making everyone feel like they're so far away.
Show them the reach. Show them what they're up against the next day, right? But I always love getting weigh-ins done. Last hurdle up to the fight, get a night of sleep and get it done the next day, so.
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, see, guys, at the weigh-ins, it's not that serious. You got to have a little bit of fun.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Every once in a while, you got to make people laugh before you punch them in the face. Take a selfie, give them a gift, maybe blow some bubbles. That's the right way to handle. You know, I noticed something. I never had the experience that Stefan Struve had where my opponent was looking up like this at me at a weigh-in.
Yep.
Feels a little unfair.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
It feels a little unfair right now, if we're being honest. All right. Let's talk about how PFL Europe works. It's not just a fight, it is a season. 8 fighters in each weight class, 4 different weight classes. 1 regular season fight for each fighter. Winners will progress to the semifinals. The semifinal winners will qualify for our finals in Dublin, and there's $100,000 for the champion in each weight class. And I don't think that's even the most important thing, because what this means is we have a direct path for European talents into the PFL Global season. And that's what all of these bantamweights are chasing, that $100,000 opportunity in a championship, and maybe an eventual invitation to PFL Global where they can chase a $1 million championship and, of course, a gold belt. Here's our lightweight bracket. Chijov and Akoidan Duque will start things off there at the top. And incredible matchups all throughout for the 155-pounders. We also have a little bit more women's flyweight business to attend to tonight. You can see one of our playoff bouts is already set, but we need to see who can win between Lorena Ribeiro and Gert Eckhout as they square off on the card tonight to fill out the playoff there. We'll also have some showcase opportunities. Showcase card will start the action here at Verti Music Hall, and then we'll get into the regular season immediately after that. All right, so I just showed you the brackets, and of course I showed you our showcase bouts. So I'm gonna start with you, Stefan Struve. What's something on this card you're really looking forward to?
I cannot wait for the co-main event. These guys match up so well. Elite strikers who have not only fought in MMA, but also in kickboxing, and not just great strikers, great finishers, because they finish over 80% of their fights. Fireworks guaranteed.
Yeah, almost 30 finishes between those two guys. That's going to be a fun one. Same question, of course, for Dan Hardy. Leading up to that co-main and main event, what's something we should keep an eye on?
Well, I interviewed these two guys last night for The Last Word. Make sure you check that episode out. You've got Dylan Tuke on one side and you've got Connor Hughes on the other. Two very exciting prospects. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but extremely different in others. But there's no way this fight is not going to be one of the show stealers this weekend.
I think we're going to talk with both of those guys maybe at the weigh-ins tonight. But let's not ignore our main event, okay? Francesco Nuzzi, let's start with him. His last outing here in the PFL, a little bit unsatisfying, ended with a no contest. It seems like he's still carrying a little bit of that with him.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of tension between Nuzzi and Benkasi. They're not fighting one another this weekend, so that tension has spilled over into their training camps. They've got somebody else in front of them. Francesco Nuzzi in the main event taking on Farbadoran Nezad. Very, very dangerous striker, fighting out of Berlin as well. I feel like those guys are going to mirror each other quite a lot, but ultimately one of them's got to break and one of them's got to push forward.
Well, you just heard Dan Hardy mention it. It's for Iran Nezad, it's a hometown fight, and that comes with a certain amount of pressure. Sure, it's great to hear the fans calling your name, but you got to show up and perform.
You know, but it's exactly what you want. This is what you dream of. You go into MMA and you get the big showcase fight in your hometown. That's what you want, but he's going to have to, you know, showcase his skills against an excellent striker, and he's going to have to use his wrestling, because else it's going to be a very difficult night for him.
It's a tough fight, and also the stakes are higher than they've ever been, not only for Farad Iran Nezad, but for all of these fighters who, as I already mentioned, are looking to progress in the PFL Europe season. You don't just show up and fight and take home 2 checks if you win. You keep the dream alive for a $100,000 European championship. And eventually, kids, if you do it well enough, you can win a $1 million championship and a PFL belt.
A $1 million.
I have one at home. I don't care that it was such a long time ago. I'm going to keep reliving those glory days. Dan, you are wearing 2 hats tonight. That means Stefan and I are going to hold it down at the broadcast desk.
Okay.
You got to get up there on the stage, make sure these fighters don't get too spicy.
Yeah.
All right?
I'll be security. Keep it good, guys.
All right. Get rid of Dan Hardy. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. Our first fight of the night. This will be a showcase bout in the women's featherweight division. Christina Brewer, local talent, versus Ruby Mesu, making the trip from the Netherlands. 2 big-time strikers. And the 4th man on the broadcast tonight, Andy Shepard, the voice of our PFL Smart Cage. Andy, over to you.
Yes, thank you, guys. Welcome to Berlin and the second half of our PFL Europe regular season. Tomorrow night, many of our athletes will be looking to win and advance to the playoffs taking place in Paris in September. Then those all-important final in Dublin in December. Who will go on to be crowned the inaugural PFL Europe champions and go home with not only a shiny gold belt, but as Sean mentioned, a sweet $100,000 in their pockets. I'm joined now, yes, by the man who's changed hats. In he comes, the director of PFL Europe Fighter Operations, Dan Hardy, which means, I think, we can get these weigh-ins underway. Our first bout tomorrow night is a featherweight showcase contest. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Rotterdam, Netherlands, Ruby Mesu.
Stefan, I'll lean on your expertise here. The Lady Tyson, they call her. Does she hit that hard?
Yes. We used to train at the same striking gym back in the day, about 10, 11 years ago. And when I would be watching hitting her,
official weight,
hit pads, I'd always get jealous.
145.4 pounds.
I wouldn't look that good on the pads. She's got a lot of power.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner from Cologne, Germany, Christina Brewer.
Brewer, the German, get a little pop here from the Sparse fans in the crowd for the weigh-ins. She does have a little bit of mixed martial arts experience, but
Official weight, 143.9 pounds.
more importantly, 17-2 as a pro kickboxer. 2 strikers starting off the action tomorrow night.
Brewer just got a win over arguably the best female kickboxer on the planet, Joanna Bars. And she's got a win by rear naked choke. Very interesting fight.
All right, we'll move on to the next showcase bout here, lightweight action. Again, not part of our PFL Europe season, but this promises to be an exciting one between Anatoly Bal and Sebastian Santana Huedes.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Gran Canaria, Spain, Sebastian Santana Guedes.
The Siberian Tiger, they call him, and quite frankly, I need to know how he got that nickname because he's from the Canary Islands and not Siberia. If we have a chance to talk to him in a post-fight interview, maybe with a win tomorrow.
Official weight, 154.7 pounds.
I'd love to hear that. Stories behind nicknames always good.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Gelsenkirchen, Germany, Anatoly Bal.
Oh no, this is the Siberian Tiger, Anatoly Bal.
Official weight, 154.3 pounds.
It'll still be interesting to know how you got the nickname, Sean.
First fight in nearly 3 years for Bal, getting back at it here in a showcase opportunity for PFL Europe.
And this card is filled with finishes. Both these guys, a lot of finishes in their wins as well. So it's going to be an amazing night tomorrow night.
Our third fight of the night, also a lightweight showcase affair. Radu Maxim back in the smart cage, taking on Jakub Kasuba.
In the blue corner, fighting out of Olsztyn, Poland, Jakub Kasuba.
Don't let the nickname fool you. The Auditor, not an exciting nickname, but this guy's style is absolutely fantastic. He's got 4 knockout wins, still undefeated as a pro mixed martial artist.
Yeah, very good on his feet, but a very good wrestler. Same goes for his opponent, so a very interesting style
Official weight,
matchup.
156 pounds. And in the red corner, fighting out of Turin, Italy, Radu Maxim.
We've seen Maxim inside the PFL cage before. He won his PFL debut via injury. It was Wojto Barboric, and he felt like he fought well, but didn't really get to prove himself the way he wanted to, because when your opponent gets injured, it's always unfortunate. So very much looking forward to what he can do tomorrow night.
Official
against
weight,
Kasuba.
155 pounds.
Especially when you, like Radu, finish your fights by knockout or submission. Normally you are not going to be satisfied with your opponent, you know, giving up because of an injury. This fight's going to be fireworks.
Our next fight will be the first of the regular season bouts tomorrow evening. This one taking place in the 155-pound weight class. Connor Hughes, Dylan Tuke.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Bathgate, Scotland, Dylan Tuke.
Dylan the Nuke Tuke, he is a finisher. All 5 of his pro wins have come
Official weight,
via finish.
155 pounds.
This man doesn't do decisions.
And fighting out
put
of
it
the
that
red
way.
corner from Liverpool, England, Connor Hughes.
Undefeated at 7-0.
Official weight, 155.5 pounds.
Only 1 decision victory for the undefeated Connor Hughes. So neither of these guys like 3 5-minute rounds.
We got, from top to bottom, we got fights like that. So tomorrow is going to be incredible. You see the tension here now. They were friendly all week, but time for business now.
Face forward.
A little bit of chirping going back and forth. These guys know what's at stake. Biggest opportunity of either their young mixed martial arts careers. You can see both of them came in great shape. Nose to nose, face to face here at the weigh-ins.
I'm just gonna have a quick
Dan
word
Hardy's
with
got an opportunity to speak with the nuke.
I'm going to have a quick word with you, Dylan, because you've been a real character around the hotel. Everyone's commented on your energy and your excitement for this weekend. Talk to me about your mindset going in.
I'm just happy. I'm happy. I'm grateful. Thank you to PFL once again for giving me such a bright stage to shine on. And I'm just a lucky 26-year-old boy getting to do what he loves, so I'm grateful.
We're looking forward to seeing you perform, my friend. Good luck. Thank you.
Well, Dan, we can't just talk to Dylan Tuke. Of course, you got to give his opponent an opportunity. We bring Connor Hughes over here to the broadcast desk. I already mentioned it a couple times. Still undefeated as a pro mixed martial artist. What kind of pressure does that O behind your name come with?
I feel no pressure, to be honest, mate. I'm here to keep my undefeated record, and I'm here to make a statement in the PFL Europe division.
And look, it's not just win this fight and go back home. It's win this fight, and you have an opportunity to continue chasing a PFL European Championship. Has that changed the preparation, the thought process at all?
Of course, you know, we know this is a step up, and we know what's on the line, but I'm more than ready, I'm more than capable to take that 100 grand and the Europe title.
You know Dylan Tuke, right?
Yeah.
Does that change the dynamic at all? Harder to punch him in the face or easier because of the familiarity?
I mean, I think we're going to see Saturday night, but I think we're going to see big shots in the cage on Saturday.
Tomorrow night, Connor Hughes, Dylan Tuke will start our PFL Europe regular season in the lightweight division. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Up next, a bantamweight regular season bout. The McGrizzler, Lewis McGrillen, and Raleigh Sadosharov.
Yes, in this next bout, one of PFL Europe's hottest news signings. 7 professional bouts, 7 wins, and 7 finishes. Will we see number 8 tomorrow night here in Berlin? Introducing first his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner from Frankfurt, Germany, Raleigh Sadosharov.
Five wins by knockout.
Official
Sadosharov.
weight, 135.5 pounds.
Proudly waving the Tajikistan flag in this opportunity.
Exactly the kind of fighter we want to see Lewis McGrillen matched up with.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, from Manchester, England, Lewis McGrillen.
A lot of hype behind this young man, justifiably
weight,
so.
136 pounds.
So much so, not a lot of people wanted to fight against Lewis McGrillen.
Sadosharov doesn't care though. He's a wild man. He comes to fight and he's going to fire right back at McGrillen tomorrow.
We saw Lewis McGrillen on our Newcastle card.
That's what he always does.
He gets a little chirpy, he gets talking. He was talking in the fights the last time
Yes,
out.
sir.
A wild man. Described, I believe, as feral at one point or another. We'll have Lewis McGrillen make his way over to the broadcast desk because I want to talk to this young man. You know, there's so much on the line as he chases not only a win, but you know he's looking for an opportunity to move on in the PFL Europe season, looking for an opportunity to turn around quickly and head to the playoffs in Paris. The McGrizzler, put that headset on for us
On Xbox
if
Live.
you don't mind. Not playing video games today or tomorrow. Look, you got another tough fight on your hands,
Yeah.
right? Stepping up the level of competition every time, and the stakes are higher because you're trying to keep the hopes alive as you chase a PFL European Championship. What's the thought process going into tomorrow night?
I'm just feeling cold now. I just feel like I'm in my zen mode, but at the same time, it's all war. Just ready for war again, man. That's all I got to say, and I'm just gonna showcase who Lewis McGrillen is once again.
Last time out in Newcastle, you were the hometown favorite. The crowd was there to watch you. It got really loud in that building. I don't know what the attendance is going to be like for McGrillen fans tomorrow night, but I can't imagine it's going to be louder than that. Does that change things for you if you're not the hometown favorite?
Nah, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm in Germany at the end of the day, and technically it's an up country to England, isn't it? And I'm just ready for war, man. He has no idea what I'm in for, what he's in for anyway. And I've got him by the air. I can tell. I can smell the fear in him already.
Anything? Any new tricks in the bag? Because we saw the left hand last time.
I've got traps everywhere. Like, what's he gonna try and do? Is he gonna stand and trade with me? Good luck. He's gonna try and shoot at me, obviously. Probably try and stiffy balls. That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna stop this, man, and I'm gonna show. The hype train isn't over.
I think this is exactly the kind of fighter you like to fight, though, because he's going to fire right back at you. You're going to, use your left hand, hunt him down, your ferocious style. What do you think? Is he going to bring that tomorrow?
Of course, man. I know he's going to be game, 100%, because he's fighting me, and it's a step up for me. But this doesn't change. This doesn't change anything what he's in for at the end of the day. And I'm just going to showcase my skills. I'm getting better every day in the gym, and I'm going to prove it.
If you have not yet seen a McGrizzla fight, you are in for a treat tomorrow night. And again, the stakes are higher than they've ever been in this young man's career because it's win and advance or lose, and you wait till next season as the PFL Europe format pushes on toward the playoffs. Lewis, good luck. Stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow here at Verti Music Hall. And that brings us to our 6th fight of the night on the card.
Thank you.
A lightweight regular season bout, Alex Chijov, Akoidan Duque.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Gran Canaria, Spain, Akoidan Duque.
We kept talking about knockout artists all night. This man is a submission specialist. 10 of his 16 pro wins have
Official
come
weight,
via submission.
159.1 pounds.
You see there, he did miss weight, which means in the PFL regular season format over here in Europe, he will lose a point on the judges' scorecards.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Riga, Latvia, Alex Chijov.
Ten and 1 as a pro, 6 knockouts. So perhaps we are in for a classic striker versus grappler sort of contest here. Chijov does feel like he's got the advantage on the feet.
So he fought in the PFL last year, showed us his skill set. 6 wins by knockout. Great style matchup for tomorrow.
You can see getting a little spicy here, a word or two back and forth between these two.
I wonder what language they're speaking in.
Duque from the Canary Islands in Spain, Chijov waving the Latvian flag.
A lot of fighters from the Canary Islands tomorrow. Wonder what's in the water there.
I need to know. In our light heavyweight bracket in PFL Europe, we had a representative of the Canary Islands.
Good stuff, guys. Thank you.
These guys do not like each other.
Our next lightweight bout. Again, PFL regular season action. Winner will advance to the playoffs. John Mitchell, Yassim Dehoish.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Marseille, France, Yassim Dehoish.
He's on a win streak. Also, 5-0 as a boxer.
155.9 pounds.
Triple threat, boxing, kickboxing, MMA. So I definitely feel like John Mitchell is going to want to, switch it up and look to take the fight to the ground, but we never know.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Dubai by way of Cork Island, John Mitchell.
John the Ripper Mitchell. 3 knockouts.
155.7 pounds.
Good boys.
Young man waving the Irish flag, proud representative of that island nation where some of us have our heritage. Mitchell coming in extremely confident, feeling like he can take out the elite striker, Yassim Dehoish. All right, let's take a look at the lightweight bracket as we've set the stage for these bouts. Remember, winner advances to a Paris playoff. The winner in those playoff semifinals will square off in Dublin for a $100,000 championship. All right, so we took a look at the lightweights there. Look, a guy who's coming up for a huge appointment here on DAZN, former UFC lightweight.
Yep.
Nate Diaz. Obviously, a totally different test in front of him as
Yes.
he's against a crossover social media star turned, I think, legit pro boxer.
There's no questions anymore about that. Everybody has seen his skill set. In the beginning, everybody was doubting if he really had it, but he's powerful, he's younger, he's hungry, and Nate Diaz is going to have to show up because if he doesn't take this fight seriously, it's going to be a very bad night for him.
We're less than a month away from Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. Let's take a closer look.
I'm faster, I'm stronger, more powerful.
I'm here to handle my business and get done what I gotta get done.
I'm not from this world.
You guys are still watching. Realistic stuff gets you views.
And so I got thrown into the deep end. 6 fights, beat everyone, knocked everyone onto the canvas.
I've knocked out every single person that I've fought.
I'm a professional athlete. I've been training since I was a kid. I've been in the most high-profile fights.
How could you not respect the Diaz brothers and their resume in the fight game?
I know what I gotta do for these fights, so.
40 minutes inside the cage with the lad. There's always going to be respect off of that.
Jake Paul is making the loudest noise out in the boxing scene right now.
And Nate Diaz leaving this arena. Because I know you don't want that
He's now fought a professional boxer in Tommy Fury, and he lost.
The winner by split decision, Tommy Fury.
Jake Paul's quite a polarizing character.
Good morning, Conor McGregor. I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now.
Tries to get a rise out of people.
You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a f***ing YouTuber.
I'm filled with vengeance, anger. I'm more hungry than I've ever been in this boxing world.
Nate Diaz. There's going to be antics for sure.
Excited to put on a massive event.
He's going to be trying to do something to shake Jake Paul.
It's awesome to bring it back here. And is this man leaving?
He said he's just going to the restroom.
I think Nate Diaz will be the biggest MMA challenge of Jake Paul's career.
All right, you heard that last statement. I think Nate Diaz will be the biggest MMA challenge, but this isn't MMA. Nope. This is a boxing match. I don't know when the last time Nate Diaz had a real boxing match was. What's a prediction from Stefan Struve?
I think that Nate is going to do it later in the fight. I think he's going to be able to withstand the power. I think he's going to, have to deal with the power to make it to the later rounds, but I think he's going to, make it through it and take the fight.
That Diaz durability is what helped both him and his brother have such successful careers in mixed martial arts. As much as I want to say something else, though, I think that Jake Paul has proven time and time again that when he fights an aging mixed martial artist in a boxing ring, he's selecting these opponents for a reason, and I think that he could pass this test as well. We'll see what happens, and most importantly, we will eventually see Jake Paul making his mixed martial arts debut inside the PFL, as he is obviously a proud partner of the Professional Fighters League. But it's all about what's going on with PFL Europe right now. Let's talk about our 8th fight of tomorrow night. Here we get into the bantamweight bracket. Ali Taleb versus Kenji Bortoluzzi.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from St. Gallen, Switzerland, Kenji Bortoluzzi.
The balance of his finishes have come via submission. Expect Kenji Bortoluzzi
134.8 pounds
to try and take this fight to the ground.
I have to agree with you on that. I definitely think that Ali Taleb is too powerful to deal with on the feet, but you never know. Very interesting matchup tomorrow.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Malmö, Sweden, Ali Taleb.
Taleb still undefeated as a pro mixed martial artist. He won a qualifier in his PFL debut. He's also the former UAE bantamweight champion.
Very powerful on his feet, but also with his guillotine choke. You do not want to give your head to this man because it's going to be over.
You can see the intensity there.
Oh, man, I was just going to say this. The intensity in the eyes of Taleb.
Doesn't even want to look away.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Gran Canaria, Spain, Rashid Haas.
Well, there it is, to the point we were talking about earlier. Another representative of the Canary Islands, Rashid Haas, takes this fight on very short notice. It was supposed to be Dom Wooding. Dom Wooding got hurt. Rashid stepped in, said no problem.
Official weight, 136.3 pounds.
But he did have some complications with the weight cut, missed weight officially. So for Rashid Haas, if this goes to the judges' scorecards, he will be down a point.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Dublin, Ireland, Franz Malambo.
The adopted son of Ireland, Franz Malambo, is on a win streak.
Official weight, 135.8 pounds.
Longtime representative of SPG Ireland, former training partner, maybe current training partner if Conor McGregor's actually training.
Sir.
Malambo, as you can see, tall for the weight class, long, rangy.
Very good with submissions as well, those long limbs. The last time Malambo fought, he won an 8-man tournament. Always very interesting. Definitely good experience for the bracket here.
So there's a different element, in my opinion, Stefan Struve, when a fighter misses weight, right? For Rashid Haas, you might say, oh, he took the fight on short notice, that happens. Well, he was always supposed to be the alternate for our bantamweight bracket. He was always supposed to be ready to go. And look, we don't know all the details on why you miss weight, but it's part of impressing the bosses. It's part of being a professional fighter. And on the other side of the equation, right, if you're Franz Malambo, you're looking at that and saying, does this mean something about his fitness? Does this mean something about a lack of preparation?
Probably, like, that's the way I would look at it. He tried very hard. He couldn't make the weight. You never want to miss weight because you look really bad, especially with an opportunity like this with PFL. So he tried, but he couldn't make it. Something could be wrong. It would give me more confidence for sure.
Let's bring in Franz Malambo. I want to talk to the man who actually has to answer these questions tomorrow. Franz, welcome here. Put those headphones on for me. We were just talking about Rashid missing weight.
Yeah.
And what that does with your mentality. How do you view it as the guy who obviously is stepping in against him?
Well, like, it was a short notice fight. Like, obviously he only found out like not too long ago that even, you know what I mean, he's fighting. So 3.3 isn't that big a deal. And I get the extra 20%. So it's all good for me, man.
Little extra purse for Franz Malambo. But let's talk about the matchup itself, because you were preparing for somebody else, right? You were preparing for Dom Wooding, and then just like your opponent finds out short notice, you also find out that maybe the style is going to be different. It's certainly going to be a different person. How did that affect your training in this final week?
So far, it's literally coming up France, because even that was a good thing for me, because like I said, I've already fought Dominic Wooden. And like, if I was gonna fight him again, it would have wanted to be in like a final or something like that, because he's such an exciting fighter. I'm such an exciting fighter. We already kind of have a history, so I think a reunion of our fight needs to kind of be like, say, like a final of the PFL or something like that, or a championship of some sort. So I just feel like that fight deserved more credit than just the first round of a tournament. But yeah, we'll see what happens with all that, anyways.
You're here representing one of the more recognizable names when it comes to gyms, right? Representative of SPG Ireland, one of the iconic European gyms. What does that mean to you?
It is what it is, man. It's always been I've always done that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just normal to me. That's just my gym, isn't it? It just so happens.
It's just normal for you. That's
It's
where
just-
you've been. That's where you've been training.
It's normal
Exactly.
to train with Connor on a Coach Kavanagh. It's normal to me.
That's what I'm saying. But even like going around, like
Yeah.
you see people like pulling up John. Oh, can we get a photo and stuff like that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, go ahead. Like, just saying, like it's normal. These things just you get used to them after a while.
Are you ready? Are you ready for that to be you?
Yeah, exactly.
It should really already be, but I'll wait. I'm patient, you know. I'm patient.
You could be the next superstar out of SBG.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying, and that's what this whole thing is about. I am going to take over the PFL division, and all that will come.
Take over.
Yes, sir.
We've heard that
Yes,
before.
sir.
I love it.
That's what I mean. I'm not here to take part.
Franz Malambo. We'll see him tomorrow night against Rashid Haas as he looks to push to the playoffs and eventually a championship maybe, which happens to be in Dublin.
In Dublin.
Oh.
Perfect. Ain't that perfect?
That
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Brings us to our 10th fight of the night and our only female regular season bout. This is the unfinished business from our Newcastle card. Lorena Cubero, Red Echout, looking to secure the final flyweight spot.
You sound great. I'd almost say you're
Introducing
Dutch.
First, fighting out of the blue corner from Brussels, Belgium, Gerrit Igot.
The Pineapple. She was supposed to be on the Newcastle card. She was ready to go. Fight was not able to materialize. Said, just give me the
Official weight,
opportunity.
125.4 pounds.
She's willing to fight for a final playoff spot here, which of course could be perceived as a disadvantage because it means a quicker turnaround to the playoff in Paris.
And her opponent fighting out of the red corner from Gelsenkirchen, Germany, Lorena Cubero.
She's going to have to do it against the hometown hero.
Lorena Cubero, it's harder to find someone who's a better definition of prospect, right? Part of PFL Europe is about finding the rising talent. She's only 18 years old, but already with pro
Official
mixed
weight,
martial arts experience.
125.5 pounds.
And so far, just a winner, 3-0. Very, very excited to see her PFL debut tomorrow night.
Cubero, a very good striker. Eckhout, a very good ground fighter. Very nice style matchup for tomorrow evening.
Dakota Ditcheva, by the way, will be in the house looking on a potential future opponent for her in this bout.
Face forward. Thank you.
So with that final bit of women's flyweight business done, Dan Hardy with a quick conversation.
So I'm going to have a quick word with you, Gret, while Lorena makes her way over to the cage side spot. So you were supposed to fight in Newcastle. Your opponent didn't make weight. The fight didn't happen. Now you're here in Berlin with a different opponent. How are you feeling?
I feel excited. I'm happy that I can finally fight for PFL. Yeah.
And what do you think to your new opponent?
I think she's young. She's ready to fight. I can feel that she's excited as well. So I'm pretty happy that I'm gonna fight tomorrow.
Great to have you on the card. Good luck.
All right, Lorena Cubero over here, cage side with us. We were just talking about it. You're still 18 years of age. I mean, I hadn't even stepped into a mixed martial arts gym when I was 18, but you already have pro experience. Now you're on a bigger stage than you've ever been on, a bigger opportunity than you've had so far. Is this the right time for you to make the next step in your career?
I think it's really the right time for me. I will make the next step in my career, and I will show you that I'm She-Hulk. Yeah.
So the nickname is She-Hulk. Is the fight style She-Hulk? Is that what we should expect? Coming forward, big heavy hands.
Yeah, I will come forward. I will make pressure, and I will beat her, and I will beat her KO.
What do you think of Gret Echout, your opponent?
Yeah, she's strong, she's experienced, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. 3-0 so far, looking to improve. to 4-0 tomorrow night, and of course, punch her ticket to a PFL Europe playoff in Paris. Good luck.
Good luck.
Take another look at the flyweight bracket. Again, this is mostly filled out already. We've got Dakota Ditcheva, Cornelia Holm in one semifinal, and the winner of that bout that just weighed in will take on Valentina Skatidze. All of our playoff bouts, at least the semifinals, will be in Paris. Looking forward to that one. In fact, you should be too.
Europe's best fighters now have a league of their own. PFL Europe is coming to Paris on September 30th. Don't miss France's own Anthony Salamone. Smooth Simeon Powell.
I'm the king. You're going to see in Paris.
And dangerous Dakota Ditcheva live in action.
I feel a little bit sorry for the one that's going to face me next.
It's win and advance, lose and go home. Saturday, September 30th at Zenith Paris. Tickets available from Ticketmaster. It's more than a fight, it's a season.
Cedric Doumbé is also going to be on that Paris card making his PFL debut, so looking forward to that one. But this brings us to our co-main event, about that Stefan Struve told you earlier he was very much looking forward to. Mokhtar Benkassi, Khurshid Kakarov.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Gelsenkirchen, Germany, Khurshid Kakarov.
They call him the killer for a reason. He's got crazy power in both hands. You can see 9 pro wins, 7 of those have come via knockout.
Official weight, 135.8 pounds.
Yeah, this is the matchup I'm really looking forward to. These guys match up so well. This is going to be fireworks.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner from Marseille, France, Mokhtar Benkassi.
And for Benkassi, he was the other half of a showcase bout, a PFL Europe qualifier.
Official weight, 136.5 pounds.
Last season against Francesco Nuzzi, that was the aforementioned eye poke. So both he and Nuzzi very unsatisfied. They wanted to fight each other again. Maybe they will earn an opportunity to do so if both men can win tomorrow night. You could see the intensity of this stare down. Benkassi, similar to Kakarov, very much a finisher, Stefan Struve.
Yes, sir. Also got 7 submissions on his record. Maybe he wants to take his fight to the ground tomorrow because his opponent is a real knockout artist as well. But as I said before, these guys match up so well. This is a barn burner.
Face forward. Face forward.
Dan Hardy having to police that face-off just a little bit.
Stuff, guys. Good luck.
Head-to-head, literally, in the co-main event. Which, of course, brings us to the main event for PFL Europe Berlin. A bantamweight contest between Francesco Nuzzi and the local Farad Iran Nazad.
Yes, 22 fighters have stepped on the scales, only 2 more, and they will be in our main event tomorrow night here in Berlin. One calls Berlin home, but with being surrounded by friends and family, going to be enough to get past a man who hasn't lost a fight since July 2016. We get the answer at the end of tomorrow night here in Berlin. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Berlin, Germany, Farbod Iran Nejad. Official weight, 135.7 pounds.
This is a man who likes to push his opponents into deep water, likes to really press and take it into the later rounds, wearing people down with pressure.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Altamura, Bari, Italy, Francesco Nuzzi.
It's exactly what he's going to have to do tomorrow against Francesco Nuzzi, because this man's left hand
135.3 pounds.
is an amazing weapon. He's going to have to tire Nutsi out, but Nutsi's going to want to keep him on the end of his reach and use his left leg and his left hand. And the way he throws that left is beautiful.
You can see they're nose to nose here. A lot of intensity at this stare down. Main event, 3 5-minute rounds with a ticket to Paris on the line. If Dan Hardy's able to step out of the middle of them, he can maybe ask a question to both halves of our main event. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, a question for each of our main event fighters. So, Farbod, this is your hometown. You have a lot of support here. You've got a very tough opponent with Francesco Nuzzi. How are you feeling and what's the plan for tomorrow?
Brother, I fight in PFL. I feel very good. I fight in PFL main event. I feel more better good. And I fight in Berlin. I feel good. Then he must be nervous.
Good luck, my friend. Good luck. See you tomorrow. Francesco, not your first time with the PFL, but first time in a main event for PFL. Are you feeling nervous, and what are your thoughts of your opponent?
Sei nervoso o è la tua prima volta in un main event? Sei nervoso o sei pronto?
No, sono pronto. Questa è l'occasione della mia vita per dimostrare chi sono.
He is ready. His lifestyle occasion to demonstrate who he is and who Italy and fighter of Italy wants to make in the world.
Good luck, my friend. See you tomorrow.
That is your main event. Iran Najad and Nutsi. And another look at the bantamweight bracket. Of course, that main event will complete our playoff bracket at the end of tomorrow night. You saw how intense some of those face-offs were. Promises to be an exciting night. The same is true at lightweight. A lot of people make the argument that 155 pounds is the deepest weight class in all of mixed martial arts. We'll see if we find some rising stars tomorrow night. And the women's flyweight bracket, as I said, with just one more spot, Cubero and Echout will try and figure that out. But before we get to official playoff action, 3 treats for you, showcase bouts. Featherweight women's contest to open it up between 2 heavy-hitting strikers, a lightweight contest, a bantamweight contest, and most importantly, action all around. Sean O'Connell and Dan Hardy and Stefan Struve one more time here for the weigh-ins. And fellas, well, first of all, you doing okay? A little sweaty from some of those face-offs?
Some strong boys. There's some strong boys in there, and they were really trying to get to one another. I'm glad they're saving it to tomorrow night, and I am not the referee.
Let's talk about what we expect in Paris. We've got a bunch of guys and gals on the card tomorrow night fighting for a quick turnaround, fighting for the biggest opportunity in their mixed martial arts careers.
Yep.
Do you think we see that represented in the Smart Cage tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And the matchups tomorrow night are amazing. Then you see the brackets and you see the fighters who can fight each other in the semis. Man, Paris, I can't wait.
Look, both of you guys, MMA legends. But the true win or go home scenario, those stakes are not something that you're overly familiar with, Dan. What do you think's going through these fighters' minds?
You know, it adds another layer of pressure onto this competition. These guys, you know, one of the benefits of the PFL is that it keeps them active, but you only stay active if you keep winning. And you only stay in contention for that 100,000 on the table in Dublin if you keep winning. 3 fights. We've got a few months to go before the end of the year. That's a lot of work. These guys have got to stay healthy, they've got to stay fresh, and they've got to stay victorious.
And by the way, some of these fighters have already had a fight or two in 2023. So is that level of activity, is that going to be, you know, friendly to folks stepping in again tomorrow?
I always loved, you know, getting back in the cage as soon as possible again, because you still get that feeling. You feel the, you know, the animosity of fight week. You can deal with it a little better. I always loved it. I wanted to fight multiple times a year for sure. So I think for these fighters to, you know, have that opportunity there for them in December, it's amazing.
So I asked you guys fights to watch, fighters to watch before we weighed everyone in, before we saw the stare downs. I know that the co-main event is still on your list. Anything new?
Taleb and his opponent is going to be an amazing fight tomorrow. Very intense at the weigh-ins as well. He was jumping to you know, then I had to hold him back for sure. So can't wait for tomorrow for that fight as well.
Which fight was hardest to keep them apart, I guess?
You know what? Well, Benkesi Kakarov, because they were both trying to get to one another. You know what I mean? It was like I had to use both arms to keep them apart. But like Taleb, he was pushing forward, but Kenji's staying real chill. Like he's like a spiritual samurai. He's just kind of hanging back and absorbing that energy, ready to throw back at him tomorrow. Very, very different types of people.
And look, Franz Malambo is as relaxed as I've ever seen a fighter on this stage and with these stakes. Like, he was just chilling here.
He's been like that all week. He's been like, we did a photo shoot near the Brandenburg Gate, and before we all got in cabs to get back to the hotel, he just took off running.
Imagine just, you know, sparring
crazy.
as much with Connor and all the other guys there, you know, and he's got a lot of fight experience too, and, you know, it shows, it really shows right now.
Well, I mean, even his answer, here representing SBG, he's like, yeah.
It is what it is.
Of course I'm representing SBG. It's just, you know, it's just life for some of these guys. Berlin. Look, a great sporting city, an iconic European city.
Yep.
A fight city after tomorrow night?
100%. 100%. This card is amazing. It's going to be fireworks from top to bottom. I can't wait. I hope I sleep tonight because I got so many things going on in my head with the matchups. I want to see how they play out, so it's going to be amazing.
We're going to have dinner. Are you, as the director of fighter operations, going to have any free time tonight?
I'm staying in the lobby of the hotel to make sure nothing goes down too soon because there was a lot of tension there at those face-offs. No, really, really excited about tomorrow. I just feel like we've got some of the best bantamweight and lightweight prospects across Europe. And by the end of the weekend, you're going to see how much potential these guys have got. Best in Europe right now, soon to be best in the world, and we're going to prove that this weekend.
Look, watch these fights through my lens, okay? Of course, these European guys, they want to make this all about PFL Europe, and so do I. But we're looking for not only a European champion at the end of this, I want to see how these guys could potentially stack up in the PFL global season and the eventual chase for a $1 million championship. The PFL has changed the game. There's now an actual path for European prospects to stardom. Be here with us tomorrow. Sean O'Connell, Stefan Struve, Dan Hardy, even Andy Shepard is going to be here at Verti Music Hall in Berlin. PFL Europe continues on the Zone.
Francesco Nuzzi takes on Farbad Iran Nezad, and French finisher Mokhtar Benkesi enters the cage against Khurshid Kakarov.
Benkesi continues to land.
It's win and advance, lose and go home. Saturday, July 8th at the Verti Music Hall in Berlin. Don't miss the action, live on DAZN.